As the American High Holy Day of Super Bowl Sunday approaches, we see the continuation of a trend that has permeated high achievement since time immemorial. Success seems to come at a price, a very heavy price, the price of a life for the honor, prestige, fame, glory of another. This concept of the necessity of the payment of a life for the major benefit of another has been central to the spirituality, religion, mythology, and history of the human race since the dawn of civilization. Multiple entities connected to Cincinnati in particular have passed away in the weeks and months leading up to the Super Bowl 56. I will look at animal lives lost, animals connected to the Cincinnati Bengals, like the Baton Rouge Zoo giraffe, named after Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. Echo the tiger, shot and killed in the Naples, Florida Zoo. But most significantly, Gorilla Harambe, shot and killed in the Cincinnati Zoo in 2016, whose life and death, by the Cincinnati Bengals organization's own declaration, is their inspiration in the Super Bowl. The appointed spokesman for the Bengals' Harambe Gorilla rallying theme is defensive end Sam Hubbard. I will de-occult the reason as to why he, Sam Hubbard particularly, was chosen as the spokesman. Giraffes, tigers, gorillas. It should come as no surprise that the Cincinnati Bengals in particular should be so intimately associated with such animals. Their home stadium is nicknamed the Jungle. Hello, this is Rambo, and these are the truth codes. The concept of the necessity of the taking of life in order for other life to benefit on a high level has been embraced from the earliest civilizations. The Babylonian Atrahasis is a retelling of the original Sumerian account of the creation, or at least sudden evolution, of the human race, which was done at the hands of the creator beings / gods. From the Atrahasis, the Tablet of the Covenant, also known as the Epic of Ziusudra. It starts out with Nintu, also known as Ninhursag, also known as Ninma, also known as Mami, speaking, the goddess. It is not proper for me to make him. That work is Enki's. It is not proper that I should make a mortal slave. I shall create a co-worker, a co-creator, but I will not make a slave. This is the work of Enki. He must make everything pure. If Enki gives me the clay, then I will do it. Wise Mami, mother of the gods your sons, your wisdom is noted and shall be made to pass. On the 1st, 7th, and 15th of the month, I shall make a purification by washing. Then one Anunnaki god should be chosen for sacrifice. The gods can be purified by immersion. Nintu shall mix clay with his flesh and blood. Then a god and a man will be mixed together in clay. Let us hear the drumbeat of his heart forever after. Let a ghost come into existence from the god's flesh. Let her proclaim it as his living sign, and let the ghost exist so as not to forget the slain god. Mami made her voice heard and spoke to the great gods. I have carried out perfectly the work that you ordered of me. You have sacrificed a god together with his intelligence. I have relieved you of your hard work. I have imposed your load upon man, but only as a co-worker, not a slave. You would have bestowed noise and woe upon mankind, but I have undone the fetter and granted freedom. So here we see the sacrifice of a creator being from the very first recorded human civilization, recorded. To understand the significance of the animal sacrifices regarding the Cincinnati Bengals, it is important to point out their star quarterback, Joe Burrow, and the significance specifically of the Tiger to Cincinnati Bengals and specifically to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow starred in college with the Louisiana State University Tigers. He won a national title with LSU Tigers, and he won the Heisman Trophy, which is a trophy for the best college player, with the Louisiana State University Tigers. He was then drafted in the NFL by a Tiger-themed team, the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Tiger, just based on the two teams he's played for, is a intrinsic theme to Joe Burrow, the star quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. When Joe Burrow won the national title with the LSU Tigers, he did so by winning the national championship game against another Tiger-themed team, Clemson University, who are known as the Clemson Tigers. So there's Tiger versus Tiger, in which Joe Burrow triumphed and ended up going to the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL. So already, heavy Tiger symbolism with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's birthday is December 10th. In astrology, December 10th is under the tropical zodiac sign of Sagittarius. Every tropical zodiac sign has a ruling planet. The ruling planet of Sagittarius is Jupiter. Jupiter is an orange, brownish, white, and dark striped planet. For that reason, the orange, dark, and white stripes of the tiger makes the tiger in astrology a symbol for the planet Jupiter. So Joe Burrow, through astrology, is connected to the tiger, being a Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, which in astrology is analogized by the striped tiger, the way the planet Jupiter is striped. In 2015, in the Indian movie industry, which is the second largest movie industry outside of Hollywood, a movie titled Bengal Tiger was released on Joe Burrow's birthday, December 10th. Just to further illustrate the association of the tiger with Jupiter and how it's done consciously, here's a popular culture example. A very popular movie, Juno. The title is Juno. Who is Juno in Roman mythology? Juno is the consort of the god Jupiter. And Juno is part of the Roman Capitoline Triad, the elite three deities, the Capitoline Triad, whose temples of worship are on the sacred Capitoline Hill. There's the temple to Juno, who is the consort of Jupiter. So that's who the movie title character is named after, Juno. And if you see the movie poster, you see orange and white stripes. And you see a pregnant belly, which is round with orange and white stripes. That's symbolic of the planet Jupiter. The horizontal stripes, that is the significance of the design of the poster for the movie Juno, again, Juno being the consort of Jupiter. And in that movie, you will see the tiger appear. Here's this tiger rug with the title character, which is a direct reference to Jupiter. Another example, vivid example of how the tiger is consciously used to express the planet Jupiter. Now, the planet Jupiter rules Sagittarius, but it also rules Pisces. The actress, at the time was an actress, Ellen Page, is a Pisces. So the actor was chosen specifically because the actor's ruling planet is Jupiter in a Jupiter-themed movie, just as Joe Burrow is in the place that he is because his zodiac sign is ruled by Jupiter, and hence the tiger theme. In the reverse reduction or reverse Pythagorean cipher of English Gematria, the word tiger sums to 31. So it's relevant that The Cincinnati Bengals actually set a American professional sports record of going 31 years without making the playoffs. Again, Tiger sums to 31. The scientific biological official name of a tiger is Panthera tigris. The Super Bowl will be held on February 13th, a date written 213, 213. Panthera tigris sums to 213. Joseph Lee Burrow, the full name of the Cincinnati star quarterback, sums to 213. His nickname is Joey Franchise, which sums to 213. This is all in the reverse ordinal or reverse simple cipher of Gematria. If you are new to Gematria, I recommend that you watch my video, An Introduction to Gematria. It's very easy to understand, very simple, and just a brief rundown of this particular cipher. It is reverse simple, reverse ordinal. It's in reverse. So it starts with Z, ends with A. Z has a value of 1, A has a value of 26, and everything corresponds in between. So 213, the date of the Super Bowl, February 13th. Panthera tigris, 213. Joseph Lee Burrow, 213. Joey Franchise, 213. The city of Cincinnati is named after the secret elite society. It's a military and blue blood order, the Society of the Cincinnati. The city of Cincinnati was named after this order, whose first president general was George Washington, the first president of the United States. The Society of the Cincinnati, after which the city of Cincinnati was named, was founded on this important date, May 13th, 1783. May 13th can be stated 13th May. Also, it can be written 513, which is the telephone area code of Cincinnati, 513, based on the foundation date of the society after which the city of Cincinnati was named. 513 or 13th May, 135. The first animal death that we will look at is a tiger named Echo, E-K-O, that was shot to death in the Naples, Florida zoo after they say the official story is that it was a member of a cleaning crew that was not supposed to be in that area, entered the tiger's area, reached his arm into the cage, and as the tiger started to maul his arm, the sheriff's deputy had to shoot the tiger dead. That's the official story. This occurred on December 29th, that the tiger was killed in Naples, Florida zoo. News of the tiger's killing reached the media the next day, on Thursday, December 30th. Thursday is important to the ritual because Thursday is the day named after Jupiter. Thursday. This is from Wikipedia. Explanation of the significance of Thursday and its relation to Jupiter. In most Romance languages, the day is named after the Roman god Jupiter. Tunor, Donar, Donnerstag, or Thor are derived from the name of the Germanic god of thunder, Thundras. That's where you get Thursday. It's Thor's day. But Thor is equivalent to Jupiter. In the astrological and astronomical sign of the planet Jupiter, which it looks like a 24, is sometimes used to represent Thursday. The Roman god Jupiter was identified with Thor. So just establishing that Thursday is relevant to Jupiter. Just one more last factoid to emphasize the point. In astrology, Thursday is aligned by the planet Jupiter, and the astrological signs of Pisces and Sagittarius, like Ellen Elliott Page and Joe Burrow. So news of the tiger's death reached the media on a Thursday, the day after December 29th, when the tiger was initially shot. And look at the time that CNN updated this report. It was at 135. Remember the number 135, like the date, 13th May, which is the establishment date of the Society of the Cincinnati, after which the city of Cincinnati was named. 13th May, 135. What are the odds that CNN would update a tiger story at 1:35 a.m.? From the date that the tiger was shot, December 29th, 2021, to the next anniversary of May 13th or 13th May, the establishment of the Society of Cincinnati, is a period of 135 days, like the date 13th May. May 20th emerges as a significant ritual number. Joe Burrow transferred to the Louisiana State University Tigers on that date, May 20th, and that was in 2018. Realizing that Dwayne Haskins would be named the starting quarterback at Ohio State, Burrow transferred to Louisiana State University on May 20th in 2018. Another Tiger-themed superstar is NASCAR Hall of Famer Tony Stewart, whose nickname is Tony the Tiger. He's associated with Tigers further because he runs a charity that protects and cares for endangered species, specifically tigers, and he's often depicted with tigers, as we will see here. This is Tony Stewart, the NASCAR superstar. Tony the Tiger. This is his nickname. His colors, the color of his car and uniform, are the Tiger colors of orange, black, and white. Joe Burrow won the Heisman Trophy with the Louisiana State University Tigers. The only other LSU Heisman Trophy winner in history is Billy Cannon. Billy Cannon died on May 20th, 2018, the exact same day that Joe Burrow transferred to Louisiana State Tigers. May 20th is also the birthday of Tony the Tiger, Tony Stewart. Jupiter is also represented by Saint Peter. It is Jupiter. The statue of Saint Peter in Saint Peter's Basilica in the Vatican is intentionally depicted in the same manner that the god of Rome, the chief god of Rome, and the chief god of Greece, Zeus and Jupiter, are depicted, sitting in a throne with 1 foot forward. That is exactly how St. Peter is depicted. The 1900-year-old statue of Jupiter, the Roman god, was transferred out of Italy to St. Petersburg, Russia, to the Hermitage Museum. The symbolism there is very clear. It's St. Petersburg, Russia. A statue of Jupiter, an ancient one, they say it's 1900 years old. A statue of the god Jupiter was transferred to a city named after St. Peter. They're telling you, Jupiter, St. Peter, they're making that association. The first openly Jesuit Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, Pope Francis, is a Sagittarius, not by coincidence. This is part of Jupiter veneration. It's a Jupiter reference. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And in Gematria, his name, Bergoglio, his last name, has a double matchup in the 2 out of the 4 base ciphers of English Gematria. Bergoglio, double matchup with Jupiter. Bergoglio, double matchup with Sagittarius. Now, his birthday is December 17th, which is under Sagittarius, but December 17th is the ancient Roman day of the celebration of Saturn. So somebody who's a Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, who's born on Saturnalia, which is a day that celebrates Saturn, actually represents Jupiter and Saturn, which is the Great Conjunction. And the most recent Great Conjunction in 2020 was December 21st. And on that night, the big ritual in the United States was the only professional sports event in town, and that was hosted in the city of Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bengals hosted Monday Night Football on the night of the most recent great conjunction, Jupiter and Saturn. And the city of Cincinnati, as we've spoken about, was named after the Society of the Cincinnati. The Society of Cincinnati was named after the ancient Roman dictator Cincinnatus. So it all goes back to Rome. And Rome's chief deity was Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet, which is orange and brownish and white and dark striped, which is represented by the tiger. Now, this is an important point to make, to be clear. There is no good planet, good zodiac sign, bad zodiac sign. Every sign has a positive and negative side. Every planet has a positive and negative influence. In astrology, not only does Jupiter have a positive side, Jupiter is considered the most positive planet in astrology. So what the Jesuits, or what you see Rome venerating, is a part of Jupiter, not the entire entity of Jupiter. It's a specific part that for their intention is useful. In astrology, Jupiter is known as the greater benefic, and you can look this up in any web search. Jupiter the greater benefic. This is the top. Zodiac.com is the first site that comes up. The planet Jupiter has traditionally been called the greater benefic. In traditional astrology, everything Jupiter touched was blessed with his beneficial. And then the second one, just reading off that, greater benefic, a term reserved for the planet Jupiter, which, according to ancient beliefs, was responsible for life's greatest blessings. So this is to emphasize the point. There's a good side and a bad side to every planet, every entity. And in magic, we saw what this is that is being used here. The Super Bowl is a ritual. It's magic. It's sorcery. What the magicians are doing is they are invoking a specific aspect of an entity, not the entire entity. So when Jupiter is being invoked, they're not invoking necessarily the entire entity of Jupiter. It's one specific aspect. And the Jesuit order, when they invoke Jupiter, they are not invoking the greater benefic. The Jesuit order, a order within the Catholic Church who venerates St. Peter, who is Jupiter, its founder, Ignatius of Loyola, is heavily identified with the date we've been talking about here, May 20th. On May 20th of 1521, in the Battle of Pamplona, Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuit order, was hit by a cannonball which shattered his leg, which ended his military career. And just as a reminder as to why we're talking about May 20th, in reference to the upcoming Super Bowl and the grand ritual behind that, Joe Burrow, the starting quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, who played for the Tiger-themed Louisiana State University Tigers, he transferred to LSU on May 20th, 2018, the exact same day that the only other LSU Heisman Trophy winner, Billy Cannon, died. And the NASCAR driver with the Tiger theme, Tony the Tiger, drives the black, white, and orange tiger-colored car, he was born on May 20th. From Super Bowl Sunday, February 13th, 2022, to the next May 20th, is 13 weeks, 5 days, 135. Like the date 135, 13/5, 13th May, the foundation date of the Society of the Cincinnati. Remember that it was 135 days from the time that the tiger was shot and killed in the Naples, Florida zoo to the next May 13th anniversary of the foundation of the Society of Cincinnati. And CNN updated its report on the killing of the tiger at 1:35 a.m. A giraffe named after Joe Burrow died suddenly in the Baton Rouge Zoo. The giraffe named Burrow was born on December 26th, 2019. And we're looking here at Bleacher Report, a popular sports site. Burrow was born on December 26th, 2019, Burrow the giraffe, and he died on September 8th of 2021. It is pretty apparent and obvious why this particular animal death would be tied into the Super Bowl and Joe Burrow, because the animal was literally named after Joe Burrow, but it was a Cajunized spelling of his name. So it had a French spelling. Instead of the typical official spelling of the name Burrow, it was spelled Burreaux, a French Cajunized spelling of Burrow. So this is a direct link to Joe Burrow, since the animal was actually literally named after him. Joe Burrow even celebrated the giraffe by wearing the giraffe's name on the back of his jersey at a rally in celebration of the national title by the LSU Tigers. Burrow, with the Cajunized spelling, sums to 110 in the English ordinal or simple cipher of English gematria. Burrow equals 110. From the date of the giraffe's death, September 8th, 2021, to what would have been his next birthday, December 26th, 2021, when you include the beginning date through to and including the end date, is a span of 110 days. Like the gematria of his name, Burrow, 110. Now, his birthday, December 26th, has further relevance to the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, the Cincinnati Bengals hosted the only sports show in town, professional sports show in town in the United States, on the night of the Great Conjunction. December 26th is written 1226. 1226 was referenced in the broadcast of that Great Conjunction Monday Night Football game in Cincinnati.
They can use a turnover for themselves right now. I am just alerted that Jupiter and Saturn have actually aligned.
Oh, you weren't referencing that before?
That makes a lot of sense. Just off the top of my head.
Yeah, right.
That hasn't happened since March of 1226.
1226. So a very significant date to this particular ritual involving Cincinnati and the Bengals. But when he said the Great Conjunction hadn't happened since 1226, he was referring to other alignments in addition to the Jupiter-Saturn alignment. The actual Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn happens every 20 years. The venue of the Super Bowl is Englewood, California's SoFi Stadium, which was opened officially on September 8th, 2020. Burrow the giraffe died on September 8th, 2021, the one-year anniversary of the opening of the venue in which the person he was named after, Joe Burrow, will be participating in the Super Bowl 56. So an animal sacrifice in this instance for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals is perfectly plausible. The gematria value that more than any other identifies Jupiter is 99. In simple or English ordinal gematria, Jupiter sums to 99. But Jupiter also sums to 99 in the Latin translation for the word Jupiter.
Lupite.
In the reverse ordinal on the Gematrinator calculator, the reverse ordinal cipher, which is also reverse simple gematria, starting with Z, ending with A, that's the reverse. Lupite, the Latin word for Jupiter, sums to 99. So 99, very much a number in gematria that identifies Jupiter. Burrow the giraffe died on September 8th, so news of his death was reported on September 9th, the next day. The date September 9th is written 9-9. like the value of Jupiter and the Latin word for Jupiter, 99, September 9th, 99, a Jupiter number. That day that the media reported the death of Burrow the giraffe, 99, September 9th, was a Thursday. And remember what we said about Thursday. Thursday is the day of Jupiter. So it was a Jupiter associated day, Thursday, on a date 99, which is the value of Jupiter in English and Latin. And it was the opening day of the NFL, a season in which the person who the giraffe was named after would reach the Super Bowl. September 9th, 99, is significant to the city of Cincinnati. Its current mayor, Aftab Purival, was born on September 9th, 99. He's also the first Asian American mayor of Cincinnati, which is relevant to the tiger as well because the tiger is primarily native to Asia, with the exception of the Siberian tiger. The tiger is associated with Asia. One of the most salient symbols of Jupiter, the planet and god, is the lightning bolt, a product which is actually one of the chief sponsors of the NFL and the Super Bowl. Gatorade famously has as a logo the lightning bolt of Jupiter, Zeus. Gatorade was first introduced to the public on that date, September 9th, 99, the number of Jupiter, from a company that uses as its logo a symbol of Jupiter. The Cincinnati Bengals franchise was established on May 23rd. That's 523, May 23rd in 1967. From Super Bowl Sunday to the next anniversary of the establishment of the Cincinnati Bengals is 99 days. The Cincinnati Bengals opponent in the Super Bowl will be the Los Angeles Rams, whose best defensive player is Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald wears number 99 and was born on the anniversary of the establishment of the Cincinnati Bengals, May 23rd, the birthday of number 99, Aaron Donald. And let us look at what is the 99th prime number. 523, like the date, May 23rd, the establishment date of the Cincinnati Bengals, the birthday of number 99 on the Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald. In Gematria's simplest cipher, simple Gematria, English ordinal, Aaron Donald has a value of 99. From the official opening day of SoFi Stadium, the venue of the Super Bowl, September 8th, 2020, to the Super Bowl date, February 13th, 2022, is 523 days. 523 again. Like the date, May 23rd. Most significant of all the animal deaths leading up to the Super Bowl, specifically aligned with the Cincinnati Bengals, is the 2016 shooting death in the Cincinnati Zoo of gorilla Harambe. If you look at the year in which Harambe was born, it was in 99, that key number to the overarching ritual. The Cincinnati Bengals have rallied around the life and death of the gorilla Harambe, who was shot to death back in 2016 in the Cincinnati Zoo. And their spokesman for the Harambe rallying cry has been defensive end Sam Hubbard. We will see why specifically Sam Hubbard was chosen as the voice and the spokesman for the Harambe movement. The most salient quote from Sam Hubbard regarding the Cincinnati Bengals rallying around and being inspired by the life and death of the gorilla Harambe is, quote, "We're doing this for him," which sums to 99. Again, for a gorilla born in the year 99. The official story for as to how the gorilla got the name Harambe was that somebody was listening to the Rita Marley song. Rita Marley is the wife of the famous Bob Marley. In 1982, she released a song, Harambe. And the official story is that somebody heard that song and thought it would be a nice name to name the gorilla. To understand the deeper fundamental core of the ritual, we have to look at the etymology of the name Harambe. Harambe is a distinct word to the East African country of Kenya, but to understand the esoteric significance of the gorilla, you must understand that the name Harambe is Har Ambe, means praise the goddess Ambe. The goddess Ambe is depicted riding a tiger. I think that should be pretty clear as to her significance, Ambe, to this overall grand ritual. Also from the Chinese tradition, the time of the Super Bowl is at the beginning stages of the year of the tiger. So it is not really about the gorilla per se. The esoteric root is found in the name of the gorilla, which means hail the goddess Ambe, the goddess who rides the tiger. And just to confirm that that is the goddess Ambe, I didn't, unintentionally exhibit the image of a different goddess and associate with Ambe. I just, to confirm it, when you search goddess Ambe, these are the images that come up in the search. And the image will have some of the variety of names and spellings for her name, but here's Jai Ambe, the tiger. So yes, the goddess riding the tiger is indeed Ambe. Now we can see why Sam Hubbard specifically was chosen as the spokesperson for the Harambe rallying cry. In 3 out of the 4 base ciphers of English Gematria, praise Ambe, which is what Harambe means, praise Ambe and Sam Hubbard synchronize. In Gematria's simplest cipher, English Ordinal, Simple Gematria, Goddess Ambe sums to 94, which is Sam Hubbard's jersey number. Barstool sports personality, PFT commentator, asked Hubbard during his recent appearance on the Pardon My Take podcast whether there was any talk in the locker room about winning the Super Bowl for the gorilla. And this is the quote from Sam Hubbard in response. Sweet Prince. I mean, that's our guy. That's our hero.
Has there been any discussion around the locker room about winning this one for Harambe? Bringing one home for the
Sweet Prince.
For the lowland gorilla.
Sweet Prince. No, that's our guy. That's our hero.
So, Sweet Prince is the affectionate nickname that the Cincinnati Bengals have come up with for Harambe the gorilla. Sweet Prince. Harambe the gorilla was shot after some dispute his age, 3 or 4 year old boy entered his enclosure, and the gorilla had to be shot and killed for the safety of the young boy. The young boy's name is Isaiah Gregg. Isaiah Gregg. And there are pictures here of Isaiah Gregg being seen for the first time after the incident. This was back in 2016. So he's part of the narrative. Isaiah Gregg is indirectly part of the Super Bowl 56 narrative. This is his father, Dion, who was not at the zoo at the time that it happened, but he too is wearing the orange and black of the Tiger of Cincinnati. So the child directly involved, who actually was responsible for the gorilla being killed, his name is Isaiah. So he's a principal personality in this narrative, Isaiah. And the Cincinnati Bengals have come up with their own nickname for the gorilla, Sweet Prince. So you have the gorilla and the boy, Isaiah and the Sweet Prince. The Cincinnati Bengals have an offensive lineman named Isaiah Prince. So he has two names associated with the two principles in the Harambe narrative. And take note of his birthday, July 29th, which also has some relevance. As I've stated, the overarching theme is sacrifice. I started with the most ancient, oldest available texts from the ancient civilization of Sumer. What I read from was a Babylonian version of the ancient Sumerian text in which that concept of sacrifice for the benefit of others was first expressed when an actual creator, quote unquote, God was sacrificed for the benefit of human beings. And over history, this has to be the most popular religion in the world. It's Christianity. That is based on this central tenet, that in order for humans to benefit from the gift of eternal life, a human sacrifice necessarily has to be made. God on his own, despite all his power, cannot just decide to forgive people. For whatever reason, a human sacrifice is necessary for a major benefit. And this is the concept, that overarching concept that is at the heart of this ritual. The name of the boy Isaiah has a direct link to Christianity, because Isaiah in the Old Testament is a prophet specifically for the arrival of Jesus Christ. Now, see how the name Isaiah lines up with the word gorilla in Gematria. Now, the gorilla was a sacrifice. The gorilla died for the life of the boy Isaiah. For Isaiah to live, the gorilla had to die. So gorilla also lines up with Messiah in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers of English Gematria: reverse ordinal, reverse simple, reverse full reduction, reverse Pythagorean, and English ordinal. So 115, 43, and 74, gorilla and Messiah. The gorilla is a sacrifice symbol, just as the Messiah is a sacrifice symbol. And Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, foretold of the coming Messiah and his trials and tribulations. Jesus Christ has close synchronicity as well. 74, just like gorilla and Messiah. 43, just like gorilla and Messiah. And 151, which is an anagram of 115. And servant songs. Christians traditionally see the servant, which Isaiah refers to, the songs of the servant, as Jesus Christ. The songs are quoted to and applied to Jesus multiple times in the New Testament, as described in the following section. Thus, in this case, the servant corresponds to Israel, yet at the same time corresponds to an individual. That is the Messiah. The servant corresponds to an individual Messiah, according to the servant songs of Isaiah. Isaiah, Messiah. Christians traditionally see the servant as Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Servant songs. These are all related. Servant songs, Jesus Christ, Messiah, Isaiah, and the gorilla, the sacrifice symbol. The 8th of September, which is the official opening date of the venue of the Super Bowl, SoFi Stadium, September 8th, 2020. September 8th is considered the birthday of the Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus. So here's another major element relating to Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the sacrifice narrative. September 8th is the day that the giraffe named after Joe Burrow died. Back to Isaiah, the veneration day or the feast day or celebration day of the prophet Isaiah is May 9th. That's the annual celebration day of Isaiah, May 9th. Isaiah is translated into English as meaning God is salvation. God is salvation, sums to 59, like the date, May 9th. A popular belief is that the real birthday of the entity named Jesus Christ is September 11th. Most people say 3 BC, but September 11th is a very popular theory as to the authentic birth of the entity popularly known as Jesus. From the July 29th birthday of Cincinnati Bengals offensive lineman Isaiah Prince to the following Isaiah the Prophet Veneration Day is 9 months, 11 days, 9/11, which is an allusion to Jesus Christ. And Isaiah is the one, more than any other prophet, foretold of the coming of Jesus Christ. This concept, as I've illustrated, is not just reserved to animals. Even gods are not exempt from this sacrifice principle. In my next video, I'll examine this story from May of 2021. A standout women's soccer player from the University of Cincinnati reported to have drowned in a lake. Noteworthy is the red and black, which she is depicted wearing. Very often, after a sacrificial death, the victim will be displayed in the media wearing red and black. This happens time and time again. It happens most of the time. Red and black are the colors of sacrifice. The story of a female soccer star drowning in a lake is reminiscent of another women's soccer player, Floriana Ismaili, of the Swiss national soccer team, who drowned in a lake in Italy 1 week from the final of the Women's World Cup in 2019, won by the United States. The crowning glory for the United States superstar Megan Rapinoe. In 2019, former Cincinnati Bengals running back Cedric Benson passed away in a motorcycle accident. Cedric Benson, sums to 213, like the date of the Super Bowl. February 13th, like Panthera tigris, the biological name for a tiger. Like Joseph Lee Burrow, like Joey Franchise. See you in the next video. And thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing to the Truth Codes. And welcome to the jungle.